All right, good morning, everybody. It is Friday. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. There's a lot of baseball, a lot of early games today. Games start 1, 2, 4 o'clock because there's several teams are having their home opener, and I wanted to make sure that I hopped on here because I've already decided the best way for me to handicap baseball for the whole summer, just from a time standpoint and making sure that I'm giving as best of advice as I possibly can, will be the handicap weekend series. Usually there's 3 game series for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sometimes they'll start on Thursday, but generally speaking, it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Thursday is usually an off day or a travel day. And most of the games on Friday will start later in the evening. So just from a time management standpoint, and for me to be able to give the best advice I can, that's going to be my move for the summer. If I love an individual game or I love an individual prop bet, I'll certainly share it. But as I've mentioned, I'm really trying to move the company more towards educating and helping people and not just shoving games down our throat. And just obviously yesterday with Justin's game, nobody feels worse than Justin. He's beating himself up this morning, and it's like, yeah, I didn't want you to lose those 3 games last night either. But it happens, and it's life. So I'm trying to figure out, well, where's my best value for baseball, and I think this is it. So going into the weekend, just so I'm clear, you can bet, and these odds that I'm giving you are through DraftKings, depending on what's where you are. Most of you guys are able to use multiple apps, so try to find the best odds. But the odds I'll be sharing with you are through DraftKings. But you can bet on who's going to win the series. So very straightforward. If it's a 3 game series, it's either one team's got to win 2 out of 3, right? Or it can be a sweep, and you get odds on who's going to win the series. I like doing that if the value's there. And so there's 2 series. Actually, there's a handful this weekend that I have an opinion on, just because it's early in the year and I still have strong opinions on baseball. But there's 2 that jumped out at me, and one might be a homer bet, but I want to talk about the Orioles and the Pirates series for a minute because I think there's a lot of value, especially if you bet for the Orioles for the series. I like Rodriguez today. I think he was minus 140 ish when I first looked at it this morning. I expect it to go up as more, probably more folks will bet on the Orioles as we get closer to first pitch. But I found minus 135 this morning to take them for the series. Again, subject to change. You find the best odds you can. But I was like, all right, so let's look at the 3 game set and how's it match up after Grayson today. And we get Wells and Kramer, and the Pirates are going to throw 2 lefties out there. And I just feel like these 2 lefties suck. And not that I feel like they suck. The numbers suggest that they're not very good. And the Orioles have been so poor against left-handed pitching to start the season. It was an issue last year. Seems to be a big topic of conversation. Bring this guy up, bring that guy up. With the off day yesterday, and I expect us to win today. And hopefully, if we do, the momentum carries us over to Saturday and Sunday. I just love the Orioles getting 2 out of 3, especially if you don't want to pay the odds for Grayson today if they go up. Just love the matchup for the Orioles against the Pirates, especially because we miss their best pitcher, Mitch Keller. So Orioles series jumped out at me. Want to put that out there. But the second one is something to really take a look at and something to keep an eye on, frankly, when you're trying to find value. Because the sports books, when you're doing future bets, whether they're long term or even short term, like a series, you're always going to get better odds. Betting these individual games, to me, it's a grind. And anyway, so that being said, the Diamondbacks are playing the Braves. You can get plus 275 for the Diamondbacks to win 2 out of 3. And the reason you get plus 275 is because the Diamondbacks are not throwing out Kelly or Galen, their 2 best pitchers. And the Braves are throwing out their 2 best pitchers, Strider and Fried. So the logic is if the Diamondbacks split that series, so excuse me, let me back up for a second. Strider's pitching tonight, and then Fried's pitching tomorrow. So if you take the Diamondbacks, they got to win one of these 2 games. So instead of betting them tonight and then betting them tomorrow and trying to guess which game they're going to win, I like the value. Plus, you won't get 275 in either spot. You might get like 240 or 245, but you won't get 275. It's not going to go up that high. And it's the Braves home opener. I get all that. Diamondbacks played extra innings yesterday, whereas the Braves had an off day. The game got rained out with Chicago, so there's a reason why the odds are this high, but from a gambling standpoint, think of it like this. If you take the Diamondbacks for the series at plus 275 and they split the first two games, you automatically can hedge your bet on the Braves on Sunday. So you'll have the Diamondbacks. So if they, because that's what you're praying for, right? You're not assuming that the Diamondbacks are going to win the first two games when Strider and Fried are both pitching and you don't have your ace. But especially on Saturday, Fried hasn't looked great. He didn't look great in his first start, and Fat's pitching for the Diamondbacks, who pitch very well. And I just think the odds are on Saturday, you might only get like plus 170, plus 175 to take the Diamondbacks in that game. And so you'd be better off having the plus 275, knowing that if they win that game, then you have, the third game, which let's see, the odds probably for that game. So the Diamondbacks are throwing out a guy named Nelson who was nothing to write home about in his first start. And the Braves are throwing out, it's slipping me now. Well, anyway, it's slipping my brain, but it won't be as high of odds. You might get the Braves at minus 160, 165, 170, especially if the Diamondbacks win one of the first two games. So that's where the hedge comes in. And the way you hedge that is, what I mean by that is you can then bet the Braves on Sunday, and no matter what, you're probably in the plus money because you have the plus 275 riding on the Diamondbacks, and then you can hedge it on the Braves. You can live bet the Braves if the Diamondbacks get a lead in the first inning, and then your hedge is even in a better spot. So hope that all made sense. I'll put that in words in the email that'll come out this afternoon. But that's my modus operandi here for baseball season is be patient, see what I find for the weekend, and if there's value. And so the Pirates have started off great. I think that's why the odds are where they are. The Pirates beat up on the Marlins and the Nationals. Minus 135, minus 140 for the Orioles to win the series feels like the right bet there. And like I said, the Diamondbacks feels like great value. So put that out there. And that's that on the baseball front. I touched on what happened with Justin's games yesterday. Yeah, it's frustrating. It just is what it is. Like anybody that I put out there, I even said yesterday when I did my podcast in the morning, I needed to take a day just away from sports in general. Felt like a good day to take a break. Things happen. It's just frustrating. It is. That's frankly why, when the business is ready to be relaunched, it'll have 4 or 5 people on here to be able to give their perspective every day because, that you need. I was talking to somebody yesterday. It's like that fine line between having a handful of people that you listen to and then having too many people where it becomes, paralysis of analysis. And in my world, I think 3 to 5 people, like when I'm going to make a bet, that's usually where I lean, and if I'm making a large wager and the days leading up to it, especially for an NFL playoff game, it's like, I can't have 30 people's voices in my head. I got to find a couple of people and they always get paid. Everybody that I look for information is getting paid like it's their job to cover the team. That's usually my number one standard. I don't need whether it's a handicapper or somebody that's just an opinion person. When it comes to getting my information, I want to get it from somebody that's covering the team for a living. And that's why I'm trying to structure the business where I have that aspect covered. And then I have, like I said, 3 to 4, 3 to 5 people that are giving their picks the way Justin, the way Ben was doing it. And hopefully we're having more wins than losses. Colin, we'll see how his golf, how his golf, the 2 guys that he took, how that plays out. And then we'll see what his bets are Sunday. I am in the process. I'm going to rewatch. I'm really treating these Final Four games like I'm coaching, like I'm a scout, because it is so important to me, frankly, for my own bank account and for everybody else that I'm on top of these games tomorrow. I'm not going to force it if I don't feel like there's a bet to be made, but diving into those 2 games today so I can offer my thoughts on that tomorrow. And that's basically what the podcast will be tomorrow morning. It'll be all about, I'll say exactly who's going to join me so we can talk hoops, NC State, Purdue, and then Connecticut and Alabama. And the girls are playing tonight. I don't know how to handicap that, but I would always err towards if you are going to bet on that. Same way, I guess this will probably be the public service announcement about everything I do. No matter what bets I give out or what bets you're going to make, girls Final Four, whether or not Gunner's going to hit a home run. I talked to somebody yesterday who just, I wish I just recorded the conversation because he nailed what the theme of this company is going to be and how sports betting should be, which is if you can't enjoy winning $10 or $20, then you're doing it the wrong way. Um, Meaning, I was telling him like, man, I really lost $500 on the stupid Thunder game the other night, and he just couldn't believe I bet that much. And it was interesting that he was like, he really called me out for it. He's like, aren't you getting married at the end of the year? And I was it was funny because I had already thought that I fell on the sword about it, but after talking to him, I was like, wow, this is a guy who's very well off, doing well for himself, and he's already made the decision that sports betting, it has to be, you have to enjoy winning 10 or $20. Because I was telling him, I was like, that was the problem. If I bet 30, 40, $50, whatever on the Thunder and they won, I was going to be pissed that I didn't bet 500. And that's, if I have those thoughts in my head, I've been doing this forever. I know, those are other thoughts that people have. Everybody's got their own demons when it comes to sports betting, and you have to figure out like some rules so you don't have to just bet 20, $10, $20 a game. You can bet way more than that if you want. But I think the theme of this company is you have to expect it to lose. Like that's the first rule of sports betting. It's just the reality. If you're doing this to try to make money, that's totally fine, but it can't be something that you're counting on, right? Like if you get have a great few months or you get lucky, or maybe you do have a great opinion on something and it turns into a money making thing for you, but you can't rely on it. It's just not at this level of competition because the talent is just too close and there's too many variables. So as confident as I'll be about, yeah, I love betting the Diamondbacks here for the series, and I like the Orioles. And anybody bring on, I expect them to be confident. But there's always a disclaimer, and that's what this rebrand's all about, which is, man, this has to be entertainment, and you don't want to blindly follow anybody. So all right. With that being said, I wish everybody the best of luck. If you have any questions about anything, always reach out. I shall be here in the morning, breaking down the college basketball and see if we can find a way to be on the right side of these games. Because, yeah, I will be betting tomorrow as long as the confidence is there. I already know which direction I'm leaning, but I want to watch the games, get some people's thoughts on it, and yeah. So, all right, appreciate everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day and good luck.